Hi, I'm Andrea DelZotto. Welcome to Leadership Updates and Dialogues. Today I have with us Daniel dos Santos, Tridel's Health and Safety Manager. Daniel's with us today to talk about how we are keeping our communities and our employees safe during this continued pandemic. Hi, Daniel. Nice to have you here.
Hi, Andrea. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for taking the time. I know it is busy times for you, a busy year, actually. And I wanted to start with exactly what's happened this year. We've been all over the board, gray zone, red zone, open, closed. So what is happening in your world of construction, in particular construction sites?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, when we look at the construction sites right now, it's being the same way as it was during the first wave, right? The beginning of the pandemic, we had the opportunity to keep our sites open and active, which was really great. Head office is pretty much the same idea. We're just following the protocols established by the Ministry of Labor, Public Health, reducing the capacity, and that's great. And in considering,
yeah, I'm sure we're deemed essential because the city needs so much housing still. So residential qualifies under that essential.
Mm-hmm. And exactly, and the fact that now the media is giving a lot of attention to construction sites. It's important to highlight the fact that construction is one of the safest industries right now during the pandemic. When we look at the reportable cases from the WSIB, construction is just below 0.2% of all reportable cases, which is really great.
That is great. You are right. All eyeballs, and there's a lot of attention on construction right now, but the numbers are pretty reassuring, I would say. It's not perfection. Nobody has the luxury of that, but it's I'd say pretty low and manageable, thank goodness.
Exactly.
So how are you achieving that in the Tridel world? What are you doing on sites to keep everybody safe? Let's start with the sites, I guess, and then we'll move on to head office because we have employees in both spaces.
Exactly. So like for construction sites, the good thing that recently we were approved to be one of the 5 constructors in the province to participate in this pilot program with Ministry of Labor and Ministry of Health, which is great because now we have the opportunity to have this rapid tests conducted, administered on our construction sites. So as right now, we have 3 to 4 projects that are participating weekly, and we're rotating among the projects, and that's really great. The response is amazing. The trades are satisfied. They're happy about that. They're feeling comfortable coming every day to work. And the fact that we have 7,000 tests conducted so far, it's incredible. Daily is pretty much, weekly actually, pretty much 850 tests, more or less.
That's a bit of a reassurance for sure. And how is the rapid test? Is it same day results? Is it a couple days? How is it with us?
Yeah, this rapid test is incredible. It's just 15 minutes wait. So pretty much the worker comes in, get the test, go back to work, and then before he knows, he has the results.
So Daniel, you mentioned the screening when people are entering sites, and I think an associated piece of that is the contact tracing, which is pretty essential and must be extremely useful when you have the number of trades that we do on our sites, and many sites, as a matter of fact.
Exactly. And then the fact that we have one particular question there when it comes to if you have visited other projects prior to that day. So then that gives us an opportunity to go back and see if they visited project A or B. And then at that point, we contact them as well, and then make sure that the contact tracing proceeds even further, making sure that those projects are also safe.
Right, because they may not just be at one particular community. They have a history and they have a future. So wherever they travel to has to be traced. And I think that's a really excellent idea and a huge advantage that we have in terms of keeping people safe.
Definitely.
Well done.
Thank you.
And what about the employees at head office? And satellite offices, how are we keeping them safe? For
head office, like I said, we had the reduced capacity, which is good. We have the health check. The Joint Health and Safety Committee participates in the decision-making process, making sure that things are safe here. We have Linda and Stacey. They're doing really good job keeping us on our toes and keeping us safe as much as possible. And the fact that we also have the sanitation process, recording, documenting through the QR code and all of that, which is a really good process, to tell the truth.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it takes a village, right? You've got your office managers keep kicking in, and really does take a team. I wonder, when you have, trades that have to work closely together, there's some attention on that as well, because some tasks are just not one person tasks. So how do you mitigate the risk in those scenarios?
Usually the trades are maintaining separate from each other as much as possible, and the workers are wearing their masks. They expected to be wearing their mask at all times, and we have our team enforcing and coming by educating. And then whenever possible, we try to make arrangements so they can stay more than 6 feet apart. And that has been very helpful, maintaining everyone safe as much as we can.
I think there's a bit of a misconception. When people are outside, they sometimes feel they don't need to wear masks. Not the case if you are in close proximity. So that's one challenge, I guess, changing behavior. But people, a year in, we're adapting, obviously. What are some other challenges that you've been noticing?
Yeah, there are a few challenges. One of them is the carpooling. A lot of people live far from the construction sites, and they tend to just start getting the carpooling going. And unfortunately, that's one of the biggest problems right now. And the fact that sometimes workers, when they're having lunch, they're so close together, they tend to be closer and closer. So then administering that part, managing that part is important. So keeping everyone away from each other.
It's hard. It's hard, I'm sure. I see even with the students in school, when they were in school physically, those breaks, those lunchtime, it's hard to, keep people exactly 6 feet apart. And the vaccination world, what is happening with construction? I know everything seems to be contingent on supply, but what do you see so far? And what do you think, how are we going to handle this on site with vaccinations?
So the expectation is to have construction being part of the essential work process, the phase 2 process. As right now, there's a lot of work from the Ministry of Labor and Ministry of Health to get that process going. What we've heard so far is that the local 183 will be creating their own facility and administering that vaccination process in their, if I'm not mistaken, it's the Wilson facility. And hopefully we'll have members of local 183, which is approximately 70,000 members, vaccinated in a short period of time.
So yeah, you've talked about some of the challenges, Daniel. So there is also a lot of other reinforcement from industry associations, Ministry of Labor, associations such as Build and ResCon. How are they helping out? Because it's great to have the strength and the power of those organizations to pitch in here.
Yes, exactly. So Build and ResCon have been amazing. They're supporting us, and it's nice to have such associations participating and helping us in this process. ResCon has been very helpful when it comes to the education part of it. They have a specific page in their website, part of their website basically gives us the guidance of what is expected right now from the Ministry of Labor and Public Health, give us a good explanation of the expectations and suggestions of what to do when it comes to lunch separation of workers, and even the carpooling issue right now is one of the biggest hot spots.
I remember recently I heard Ron Kaluski, the Chief Prevention Officer, speaking, and he said to a group of us at Build, he said, if you don't have the plexiglass in your car, you have to wear a mask or don't carpool. And I don't think many of us have that plexiglass in our vehicles. So it comes down to the PPE once again. But I really think it's great that you're mentioning this as a resource, because I think there's been a tremendous state of confusion in many ways during the past year. So to have a centralized resource, one voice, one message is really important when you've got so many players in this industry, and we need some direction, clear direction.
Exactly. Yeah, it's important. Education is all that we need. With education, we will be able to achieve what we're planning for.
Exactly. Education, awareness, the foundational pieces, I suppose. So I really know that you're quite a busy man these days, Daniel. Safety is, although it's your responsibility, it is all of our responsibilities, and we can do our part in order to help you and implement one of our core values, safety. So Daniel, I have one final question for you, unexpected. And I think it's something we all want to know and we can learn from. How do you relax at the end of the day?
Well, I try to play instruments, right? So I play guitar. Yeah, so I play guitar, and then whenever I have a chance, I take the time off to stay in my bedroom or maybe outside in the backyard, and I try to play guitar with the kids. recently I went to the farm, and so we had the opportunity to chase some wild turkeys. And
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. I've been learning guitar for 5 years. Maybe you can help me. No, but we all know you know, you have to unplug a bit at the end of the day. You probably don't get as much of that opportunity as the normal person, but it's good that you need to take time and replenish and restore because there's a lot of weight on your shoulders. We realize that and we appreciate that. So thank you for being with us today. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Take care.
And everyone else, we look forward to having you join us next time for more dialogue and more insights. Thank you.